I see the value in my own work, but I also see the meaning in all the endeavors of the people of Fontaine. I believe I will continue to take pride in fulfilling my duties.
A good newspaper should be a lighthouse of truth. A good newspaper should be a lighthouse of truth.
Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from Liyue has an enduring aftertaste. In Inazuma, the water possesses a depth of flavor unlike any other. Sumeru's water, meanwhile, has a rich and complex flavor profile, but it must be savored patiently to fully appreciate it.
A good newspaper should be a lighthouse of truth. A good newspaper should be a lighthouse of truth.
Hello.
A good newspaper should be a lighthouse of
Melusines
truth.
are beautiful creatures. They are the pride of Fontaine. Be sure to befriend them and cause them no harm.
A good newspaper should be a lighthouse of truth.
Wait a sec. Oh, today's our big day! We're supposed to leave the Fortress of Mirapede!
Please, sign here. This document will be effective immediately upon—
It's been so long since we've been to the surface. Let's hurry! Huh?
What's happening? I'm fine.
Let's go ask the Duke!
Ah, good to see you two. Is there something you wish to see me about?
Yeah, what was with that earthquake just now?
Ah, that. The tremor didn't originate from the seafloor. Over the years of serving as the warden here, I have developed a sense for distinguishing between what occurs on the surface and what occurs underwater.
So the fortress is okay?
If you recall our last incident, if there really were a problem, there would be crowds of inmates in a panic right now.
Huh, you've got a point. Okay, seems we... by the way...
I believe today is this month's pipe cleaning day.
Wait, seriously?
Ah, yes. Have you completed your release papers?
Yep.
It's you two. Are you leaving now?
That's right! Today is our last day in prison! But... oh yeah, Paimon feels fond of this place now!
Then be sure to come back and visit.
If you've signed the release papers, then you're free to go. The guards will escort you out.
You're not going to see us off?
I knew you'd ask. All right, sure. Let's...
Well, you actually agreed.
Ah, so you do have a polite side, I see.
After being down here for so long, I imagine you must feel like you're lacking companionship.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll come back to see you.
I hope you won't be here as convicts the next time I see you.
We'll do our best to stay out of trouble. Well, it seems our work in the Fortress of Mirabine is finished. We should probably go report to him now.
You're going to see Monsieur Nervillette? Please pass on our kind regards.
I'm sure just your regards will do, no?
I believe it would be the polite thing to do.
You're right. I've heard the Palais has been terribly busy these days.
The Palais Mermonia sure is buzzing with activity today.
Halt! Huh? Oh, it's you two. Apologies. Monsieur Nervillette did say you'd be welcome at any time.
Excuse me. Would you mind helping me take a look at this report?
I'll be right there. Sorry, I've got my hands full here.
Everyone's so busy. Seems... Nervillette!
Hello. You've come at the right time, but you'll have to wait for just a moment. In the meantime, please, have a seat.
That's all right. We just ate.
Very well, then.
Let's take a break over there while we wait for him to finish his work.
All right. That should wrap things up.
Are you done with your work?
Yes, sorry to keep you waiting. Today should be the day you were released from the Fortress of Mirabine.
That's right. And we came here to see you right away.
A massive whale.
Do you have any idea what that might be?
Judging from your description, that cannot have occurred in any ordinary waters. A whale of that size and shape cannot usually be found in the waters of Tivat.
Immersed in primordial seawater? But how?
Most people wouldn't be capable of entering in the first place. I'm not completely sure how he could have gotten there myself. Yes? What is it?
Ah, right! Paimon felt it too! We asked the Duke and he said it wasn't from underwater, so we figured you might know something about it.
It turns out that I have just received a report about this particular matter. The source of the tremor was here on the surface near Poisson.
The water levels rose? Oh no!
Fortunately, the water levels only rose for a short period of time. If the change in water levels is connected with the leaking primordial seawater,
Navia should be in Poisson, right?
I would also like to go there as soon as possible, but I'm afraid I can't leave just yet. I'll have to ask you two to go to Poisson first.
There's no time to lose! Let's get going!
Please be careful.
should be around here, We haven't seen a single soul all the way here.
What will I ever do now?
Look, there's someone on the roof.
Just stay put. We're coming up. Watch your balance.
All right. I'm not young anymore.
Oh, he looks pretty sad.
My leg! My leg! How could this have happened?
Just hang in there. Help is on the way. You can hold my hand if it makes you feel better.
Oh, it's Navia. She's over there. Hey, Navia, are you okay?
You're here.
We heard there was a situation in Poisson, so
Yes. As you can see, the water level suddenly rose.
Demoiselle! There was a wounded resident next to a building southeast of here. We've already transported him to safety, but we've run out of medical supplies.
He's wounded? How badly?
He fell, so it's probably a broken leg. He's pretty shaken up. When the water level rose, he desperately climbed up to the...
He jumped down then. Find the leader of Squad 1 and tell him to take the wounded resident to see a doctor. He should know where to go.
Understood. I'll take over his search and rescue mission in the meantime.
All right. You'll be in charge. I'm sorry.
the situation...
Right. Allow me to explain. A little earlier, we suddenly heard a loud noise. The rushing water seemed a little odd, almost like the unique color of primordial seawater. Everyone on the street who happened to be close to the water didn't have a chance to escape. Those who realized what was happening started to flee in a panic, desperately trying to get the Spina di Rosula initiated rescue operations as quickly as possible. But the water that flooded the area contained primordial seawater. So the no one knows if this could happen again.
How awful. And all of
It was quite frightening indeed. I only wish that everything that just happened was a bad dream.
Is there any way we can help, Navia?
Thank you for being so willing to help in a moment of crisis like this.
Don't say that, Navia. That's what friends are for.
Demoiselle! We've got a situation here!
I'll be right there. Sorry, I need to go for now.
And out she goes.
Okay, the wounded are being tended to. Of course, we should remain ready for anything. Traveler, Paimon,
Huh? Right now?
thank you. lot of people here, huh?
Well, given the time of day and the whole situation...
Right. That's how things are now. The living are so...
Navia? Navia, what's wrong?
Sorry. I just... Maloose and Silver... They won't ever come back here again. What should I do, Papa?
Huh? What happened to them?
Everyone agreed on the rescue plan, but still... They were helping evacuate the residents, but they couldn't leave in time. And they were caught in the seawater.
What should we do?
I've known them for so long. I could at least hold a funeral for my father, and I know where he rests. But as for Maloose and Silver, they're just...
Everything looks so clean after it rains. Even the gravestones. I didn't expect that you did.
I can understand. Besides,
See, it's not just me. I always want to bring something when I visit Papa.
How could Master? Yet the cemetery is the home of those who have passed.
buying yourself a plot in advance, are you?
No need yet. But when I do, I hope you'll let me be buried beside Master Callus.
Hey, stop.
I'm quite serious. That way, it will save us both the trip to sea.
That makes sense. In that case,
After all, besides you, Demoiselle, the two of us could certainly...
personally, I believe
Why are you bringing this up all of a sudden? Seriously. All right, but I'd really prefer not to talk about this stuff. And what do you mean by saving me a trip? I'd promised to let them rest in peace here. But here I am breaking that promise. I'm sorry for letting you see me in a mess like this.
Paimon doesn't know how to help you feel better.
I had always thought I could make my wishes come true. Maloose and Silver have helped me so much. I'm so sorry.
You can spend as much time as you need here, Navia. We'll stay...
Thank you. Right now, you don't know how much that means. By the way, you can have a look at this.
Obena... Khan... So... everyone else is safe. But still...
It's okay. I know what you're thinking. The overall outcome indicates that the cost...
Right! Don't think that way, Navia. Maloose and Silver were not the price for saving anyone.
You're right. Thank you, Paimon. What you said just now was pretty amazing, actually.
Oh,
Seems you've become more eloquent in the time since we last met.
the knave?
Is everything going well on your side?
Yes, my people are carrying out the mission according to your request. As for these supplies, we have everything taken care of.
Thank you very much.
Wait, do you two know each other?
We just met recently. Right, Miss Navia?
Usually, I would call this a coincidence. Thanks to the knave, Spina di Rosula received generous support from the Fatui.
Mutual aid is essential to fostering positive developments. We were already in the area, in any case, so it was nothing. That said, I must say that you're a lot sharper.
I apologize for all the ways in which I tested you previously. My subordinates have reported that Fatui soldiers have been observing water levels and taking head counts in various locations. I hear...
This is nothing to brag about, nor do I intend to. As I've told this traveler before, I know of the prophecy, and I intend to... Lending your organization a hand was a natural first step in a...
Without your help, there would have been many more casualties.
Furthermore, I sincerely regret what happened to Maloose and Silver.
Don't say that. You and your subordinates did everything you could. As Paimon said, Maloose and Silver didn't choose to sacrifice themselves for any specific person. And they weren't the price paid for other salvation. They chose to become heroes themselves. I've never liked hearing people put it that way. It's like trying to relieve pain by saying some noble-sounding words.
You're right. I'm sorry for your loss, Miss Not. Water is life to Fontaine's people.
So, you're one who will try to change fate, then?
Of course. That is why I'm going to Hotel Bouffe de Terre. I still have some things to take care of. By the way, Traveler, Paimon, one more thing.
Alright, then we'll just...
That is a clever and useful conversation technique, which, Traveler, I'm sure you remember that I said you and I both know that there may be issues with the Primordial Sea. Previously, it was the Fortress of Merope. Indeed. Allow me to share the latest intel I've received from the House of the Hearth's intelligence network with you. During some recent investigations, a child claimed to have discovered some ruins near Poisson. Judging by the dating of the ruins, they may be... My people initially came to prepare for ruin exploration. Unexpectedly, this...
So, that's why the Fatui were already in Poisson.
I wanted to take the children along, but unfortunately, Linny, Lynette, and Fremine have all been dispatched to higher ground to assist affected residents. Linny told me that outside of the house, which is why I want to give you this task. The House of the Hearth's members see each other as family, but Linny, Lynette, and Fremine said that they also see you as such. I'm sure you already understand how earnest they consider their friendship with you to be.
Oh! That somehow makes Paimon feel kinda happy.
The intel I just shared about the ruins could fetch a high price.
Got it! So all we gotta do is go to some ruins, right? We can handle that.
Excuse me, but may I tag along?
You wish to join, Miss No-
But are you sure you're up to exploring some
Well, I'm sad, yes. But I can't just go back. There's no point in being depressed while we still have a disaster. Besides, I'm also doing this for myself.
Since you put it that way, I have no... All right. The ruins are to the south of Poisson. Here's the map.
Okay, the three of us will handle it. Come on! So, are these the ruins the knave was talking about?
They seem to be pretty ancient, all right.
Let's go in and have a look.
Just be careful.
Time to go.
Into the wind.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Yoo-hoo!
Bow your head.
Nada kondala.
Floor here isn't safe.
Settle down.
This place has also been contaminated by primordial seawater.
Yeah. And a lot of it, too. A Fontanian would most likely dissolve the moment they fell in.
Right! You can't go down if there's primordial seawater. It's too dangerous and it won't be any help for you. Don't get by my wrong. We're not
No, you're right. I can't do anything in this situation. That complicates things.
In that case,
The water levels here are unstable, and there's a I'll go together with you. Perhaps we'll find the exit just up ahead.
All right. Come with us for now, then. Oh no, it's a dead end! Let's try climbing over from the side.
There's something wrong with this bridge.
Demoiselle?
Huh?
Demoiselle, what are you doing here by your...
Maybe she just wants some time to herself, Malus.
Oh.
Yes, it would appear so.
That's quite possible. However, you were...
Oh, right. I nearly forgot. It must have slipped. This is a familiar feeling, yet...
Is something the matter, Demoiselle?
Oh, no. No, I'm fine. I was just trying to recall why we came out for a walk.
Do you remember Mr. Giverny? He'd request...
We were headed to see how things were going with him at the
Ah, right. Yes.
Oh? Miss Navia. Ah, Mr. Malus. And Mr. Silver, too.
How have you been?
I've been great. Thanks to your help, those bothersome merchants finally realized that I wasn't the one they were looking for. They were knocking at my door day and night, even...
Sometimes force is required to...
That's right.
Oh, yes. One moment, I have it right, Miss Navia. These are some flower seeds that I prepared. Please take them. They're very... I don't know what we would have done without your help.
Ah, did you cultivate them yourself?
Why, we can have as many pots as you'd like, demoiselle.
Perfect. In that case, we'll swap out some of the decorative plants for some...
Very well.
Wait. Something seems to be off here. Excuse me, madam. If I'm not mistaken, your name is Burnett, correct?
That's right. Is something wrong?
No, it's nothing. This is the first time we've ever met. I've heard this name before. And why are there so few people around here? Where did everyone go?
We must mind the time, demoiselle.
Huh? We do?
Well, now, did you...
Miss Navia, here you are. I've been looking for you. Please, come to the...
My trial?
Yes, she's right, demoiselle. It's just about...
Oh?
Look, it's Navia!
And her two attendants are with her. Goodness, everyone's finally here.
There sure are a lot of people here to see the trial. And they all seem to be Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen. Why are so many people here? And as for the judge... huh? Where's Monsieur Neuvillette?
Please sit in the defendant's seat. Don't worry, Silver.
All right.
Typically, it wouldn't be allowed.
Hey, what kind of place do they think this is?
Come on. Do they have any idea what they're doing?
Seriously.
Enough with the whispering!
My dear Miss Navia, as all here know, you, after you took over the Spina, you treated all of, not only you, but your butt.
What?
Yes, correct. Absolutely. We are one big family, all of us who are from Poisson. Therefore, this fair and honorable court shall declare you guilty.
Huh? Everything you have...
Ah, well.
How wonderful!
I know all these people. Why are they laughing?
I seem to remember now. Yes, I get it. This trial...
Wait just a moment. This isn't right!
Malus?
What was that, Mr. Malus? Our conclusion is very clear and unanimous. Let the court judge her now. She's...
Stay here, Navia! You're one of us!
Demoiselle, don't admit guilt. This trial means to keep you here forever.
I wish to exercise my right to defend Our Lady. Mr. Joinville...
She was born a free and independent spirit.
Her actions cannot serve as proof that she identified... Please do not mistake her...
Really? As an individual, you say? Don't forget, we are all Fontanians here. This is the nation of... Even if Miss Navia only voluntarily rendered, everything is measured here. Now, I speak for everyone. Our opinion is consistent. Navia should stay. We...
And you would call this justice? Have you forgotten how much you all...
Do you mean to defy our justice?
If your justice is flawed, then why...
As you said, we can also have our own justice. And that...
My head...
Demoiselle!
Silver, it hurts. I remember now. Everything that seemed odd from the very beginning. Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen, and Mr. Giverny and Mrs. Burnett, who we met earlier. Even Malus and Silver. I don't want to admit it, but they're all dead.
Don't be afraid.
Absurd! Who are you? Don't let them escape!
Mr. Malus and Mr. Silver, must you be so stubborn? How could the two of you possibly hope to stand against the collective? Do not resist. This judgment is fair and just. Navia belongs to us. After all that happened, she should not be left alone in Poisson.
What are you saying? No more excuses.
He says we're jealous. Jealous? How could she possibly be an
What's with these people?
Who's jealous of her?
She belongs to us!
Miss Navia.
Silence!
That's... Monsieur Neuvillette!
Such commotion is prohibited in the court. The accusations you just the court will adjourn for the rest of the day. In this, I shall hear no objections from—
Our thanks, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Please leave with me, Miss Navia, while there is still time.
But...
Go on now, demoiselle. This is your only chance.
Loose.
My apologies. I couldn't resist making one little joke once I realized that...
Malus... Silver...
Quickly, you must come now!
Goodbye, demoiselle.
Farewell.
No, wait! Just a second!
Navia?
You're awake. Good.
I must have been dreaming. Malus and Silver were still alive, and they were...
It looks like you're all right.
Did all the sad feelings cause you to have a nightmare?
The ruins you were exploring suffered a cave-in. When I arrived, you were just about to be dissolved within, but... I think I saw 2 Oceanids protecting you. It was only for a moment, perhaps even a fraction of a second, but they gave me the chance to retrieve you. Were it not for their intervention, I would not have been able to rescue you before your consciousness dissipated.
Wait, did you say Oceanids?
Perhaps those 2 Oceanids were the people you saw in your dream.
I always told them that they didn't have to protect me.
Please come with me.
Neuvillette, are you okay?
Oh, I am quite all right. Perhaps...
Why do you look so stiff all of us? Oh, Paimon knows. You're the...
I merely thought that we should give Navia some time to herself.
Huh? Why didn't you just...
I suppose... Ah, Sigewinne! I hope all is well with her these days. Her work in the fortress of Meropide has not been too much for her, has it?
No way, don't worry. She's doing fine down there. She's an amazing head nurse.
I see. Well, that is good. I have always worried that Sigewinne would need a lot of time to understand the world of humanity.
Oh, and the Duke also says hi. Even though...
Thank you. I haven't...
He still doesn't know what to... So, Neuvillette... This is a...
Yes, in fact. I had arranged to meet... Amid my astonishment, I ran into the nave. And
Yeah, we originally planned to meet up with you.
I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting like that. I'm feeling much better now. I guess we should get going again. Will you come with us, Monsieur Neuvillette?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind my company.
Oh, right! Another one joins the party! Let's get going then!
Let the mighty be humbled!
Oh no, another unstable path. Watch your step.
wind knows me. Time to go. Into the wind.
Watch out! There are rocks falling over here!
Birds call!
Shower me with praise! Let the world come alive!
Bow your head.
The show begins!
The wind knows me.
It seems we're almost at the top. Keep it up!
Yeah. Back here, please! May I present? Time to shine!
Justice is blindsided. The tides beckon.
Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place. There should not be any other hidden spaces in the vicinity.
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
Stone slates. It seems like they were put here as an offering.
Perhaps we should just leave them be for now.
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate that should be in the first empty spot is missing.
The surrounding walls also show signs of damage.
There's something written below. Let Paimon see.
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a purpose.
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes.
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated. And there's...
And is that Lady Farina in the 3rd image?
And is that a ring of people around her?
The 4th image. I know this one.
The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping. More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover it.
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Ooh, Paimon's getting the chills just looking at this. Says that it's the history of...
I really...
Still...
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning Fontaine, come before the third, where the Hydro Archon herself falls into the water?
And yet the order is reversed here.
If we go by timing, Lady Farina only emerges in the third image. That means that the person in the second image might be the previous Hydro Archon.
Egeria, then. I had never met her, but her appearance here does match the records. The previous Archon kneeling before the floating island.
Did she herself commit that sin? Also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stones...
But who would have created these slates and left these words here?
It seems that any further clues will have to come from Farina.
In that case, there's no time to lose. There's nothing else to be gained here, so let's head back first.
Yeah, we better get somewhere safe for now.
Let's split up here. I'm going to check on what's happening with the Spina.
You still have energy for them?
Just head back to the Fleuve Cendre and have a
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work today. Traveler, I will go talk to Farina tomorrow morning to ask about this. I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office.
Are you really gonna talk to her about this directly?
She has long been harboring secrets, and
Alright, we'll leave.
I will be carefully considering.
Traveler, Paimon, our safe house at the Fleuve Cendre is always open to you, as ever. All right. I'll be on my way then.
We're finally back!
Welcome back. We've got a special menu prepared for you two.
Yay! And there's good food, too! Paimon's already starting to forget what happened today.
Oh, that voice. Is that who I...
Huh?
It's you two. What are you... Seriously, nobody just uses a scry glass whenever they've got time to just see who they'll meet on the road.
Still, we didn't expect to see you here.
Well, I have some business to attend to here, so Why did you think I was from Fontaine, though? Is that...
yeah,
Well, I used to have my own surname, which was, well, some other There was nothing for it, really. She really is amazing at astrology, so I changed...
It isn't?
Nope. Although it is used by us in place of surnames, it generally just means great.
Wow!
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if Astromancer Barbeloth Trismegistus.
Whoa, that's a lot.
My name means Mona the Great
Thrice as great? That's so...
I know, right? That's just how she is. She used to call her...
Talk about excessive.
Megistus is thus the calling card of our school, so to speak, which makes it about the same as a surname.
That sounds terrible! But anyway, you're not Fontanian, are you, Mona? You're...
Well, I was born in Mondstadt, yes. My parents migrated to Dorm...
Oh, that's a good thing then.
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that a bunch of things have happened here in Fontaine, right? There's something ominous about it. Well, the water, I mean. That was the main reason, yes. The invitation was sent quite early on. I don't think anyone expected Fontaine to be in the...
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona? Just tell him.
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist. And that this prophecy I'm afraid that this is not something that just anyone can do. But on the flip side, the prophecy is so huge and...
A visionary?
Sound of course. The old hag could do it. And I'd bet there are others amongst those hex... Huh? Are you sure? All right.
Thanks, Mona. You're amazing as always.
Oh, well, this is something only I can do after all.
That's the greatest of astrologists for you!
Indeed, indeed. That's the spirit.
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about. If there's anything you...
Oh, whoops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business now. If I...
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy gift. If Paimon hadn't spoken for you, it'd be... that's more like it. Good morning. To be honest, Paimon's still feeling kind of sleepy. But it's time to get up, Traveler. We agreed to go see Neuvillette, so let's pack it up and get going.
You're here!
Is something wrong?
Monsieur Neuvillette and Lady Farina, they seem to have gotten into a dispute.
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space. It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand. Look at this.
You mean...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again. I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient...
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't but you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon.
I don't. I've never...
I'll ask you again. My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon...
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself, and I understand your concerns, but...
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known there are several indications that you... This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But you have never been as superficial as you have
Well, since you know about my secret, there's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but just trust in me. Your arc, that's all I have to say. We do not discuss... Oh! The opera's...
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her. She was smiling.
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Oh! You noticed!
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Still, I do not understand. Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some... We may have to create a...
Oh?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial.
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at that.
We will need to consider this thoroughly. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but this may be cruel to her. But all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too... But who will lend us...
Well, that's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so it's
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world, huh?
That's what family should do.
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Me?
Then, how about you, good sir?
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in court.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things.
That was a little long-winded, don't you think?
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, as for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
Oh, how intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand.
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be facilitating this?
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance.
I see.
He is glad that you consider him your boss.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger.
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly. A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger. So, if we were to build a trap together, right now...
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see that our line of work requires a deft hand, and...
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even...
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods.
Calm and steady.
And I can be their assistant.
With discretion, I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it.
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not have any related experience.
That makes sense. But I do have one more question for you, Monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey.
Kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey.
Wait, why's that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that divides life and death is often exceedingly thin.
We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters. It kinda works, but maybe it's still not the best method.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate. But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god.
Oh, so that's what's going on.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but Well, it's hard to say. Paimon doesn't... After all, you're the most reliable person in the... Did you just pour some tea? Then what's that? Paimon's never seen that cup before!
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea. I mean...
Who's that for...
Aw, have you forgotten me already?
Wait, you are familiar.
The voice from the sky, Huh. You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple. The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled.
What? Then is there
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything into... Ah, so you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the
What is she
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality.
The voice. It's gone. Alright. Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Mona!
Fine, just fine. Not all Fontanians are pessimistic about this.
Did she have pink hair by any chance?
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. I assume you've heard of her, no? That I'm in full support of her view.
That's right!
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try... Huh? Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots.
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, but I've never met her, and if she were still alive, she'd...
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary group.
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then...
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now. Traveler, Paimon?
Oh, we're fine.
I see. I guess you could consider me someone who... But even so, perhaps that's what N was trying to tell you. I did originally think of steering clear of all this.
Huh. You do have a point.
There I go, talking about astrological principles again. It was worth trying to comfort you, even if I suppose that might be why we always seem to meet by coincidence.
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said. Hey, Traveler. Paimon suddenly feels like going outside for a walk. Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by. Huh? Let Paimon see! The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report. So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, journalist Charlotte's biggest... Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us, she hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the... seriously? Well... magic! Look! That's the limited edition, only 16 slices a day cake! It was so delicious the last time we...
1 slice of cake, please.
Someone showed up after all! Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It's...
Wait, did he really...
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to food.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from...
Then what if someone told you one day that...
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon does...
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, no. It's the same for eating in general.
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more slices of cake to go? These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this kind of expression you're making is what humans call being sad.
Oh, you know Sijuin?
I sure do. She was born before me, and she sometimes comes to the surface to teach us things about humans. She said that humans are creatures that are saddened easily. Yes, I've got something else to do, so I'll be going now. You two try to stay in a good mood after eating, all right?
And there she goes! Alright, let's dig in. Paimon's sure that... It's more delicious than last time! Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious food. Oh! We're near the Steambird office! Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon!
Ha! You've got some nerve!
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so it's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you.
Really?
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon.
Oh, Paimon knows.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden?
A friend of ours met you a while back.
Ah, so you know Miss Mona as well. She's a guest So she mentioned me? What did she...
She said that you're a
Nice. In which...
Huh? So you're...
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography.
Yeah, are we even qualified enough?
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth it.
Oh, in that case...
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the... Ooh, so much to get done now. Talk...
Wait, Charlotte, Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If... Just for example...
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still... From what I've seen, most people don't know what they do. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview. Just think about it. If this nation really were... And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic. But I do love my job. But anyway, that's my answer. And...
That's so nice. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we? The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh? Paimon's been thinking. If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow. No, Paimon should ask, if you could choose, what would you like to do? We've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds. You mean, still traveling? Huh. Wait! Feels like he'll grow mold, but it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's for sure. It's not.
So the two of you are still here.
Oh, Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to look for you two before. Not at all. I'm well aware that you're friends of his. Yes, inside the Opera House.
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't personally... Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis. And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow, and protests against the Hydro Archon started to break out.
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess...
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is...
So what happened after that is for...
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control, and that further argument, the Marechaussee Phantom had their hands full maintaining order, and did not...
So, you mean she's still missing?
That's right. The Marechaussee has dispatched many people to search for her. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. Good. Monsieur...
Don't worry. This is more than enough to go on.
Is that so? Well...
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know Farina, she won't try. And as we also know, when Nervillet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and she heard it would be hard for her to ignore. Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to slip. Huh. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer. In that case, there's not a moment. This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible. That's Farina, right over there.
Should I just give up? What was meant to happen did happen. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Give up. I'm sorry. But what can I even do? Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina. It's just... Farina.
What do you mean, tears? Who did that uncivilized? They even dare to tout their arc? Oh, and I'm sure Neuvillette and those people from the Marechaussee Phantom are freaking out right next to them, too.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just... That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Farina just ran off! Quick, we have to catch up with her! This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here.
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they displayed. You're right.
Yep, that's a good girl.
What's happening?
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Neverlette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, I hope you're right. But the people of Poisson, they've already... It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way. Give up. Indeed. I've thought about giving up so many times. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It happened just now. It all became clear to me. As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. Well, that's enough for now. Don't take any of what I just said.
Come on!
Share, that's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone. A witness. Yes. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case...
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado...
So, this is what it is. Yet, do not forget, however, that I am...
May I interpret these words as your refusal? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
You would draw your blade against a god? I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it.
What the heck is going on?
Wow. How
Lady Farina.
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate I will admit that I'm sorry, everyone. You are not the only ones to be But now, I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the truth. This time, I will protect you. Applaud and mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine!
Woohoo! Oh, now we're making... Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole... Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic...
All right, then. Who will...
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness of Tevat, my accuser and fated opponent. So, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins. Just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would... So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean... the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontanian history.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Araneas. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. We had to select a location,
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was...
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage,
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you.
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler, I suppose you'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
Oh?
It's fine. It matters not. What the stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the...
Madam Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Oh, let Paimon see. Wait, then that means... So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence. Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duel you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right. I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I'd been following all this time. I guess this is the first time Monsieur Neuvillette had a difference of opinion with the Oratrice. Even the Hydro Archon can't figure it out. A Fatui Harbinger. She's an extraordinary person. The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day. According to Monsieur Neuvillette, both Child and that whale should have been in the primordial sea at that time. I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers. The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when something surreal happens to you.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on! And just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. Of course, it is only natural.
That's true, but my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to...
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge? Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine.
Yeah, even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric.
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either.
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no fooling their memory. See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. If you wish to drop the case...
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not
Well, I tried to give you... And if I was not the Archon...
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all,
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave?
A curse. I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity.
Neuvillette sensed it too, huh?
Lady Farina. Well, it is true that it's extremely...
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said, how does that prove that I am merely a human being? Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods. For centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fon. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the endemnitium that is used in every aspect of life.
You tried to reference the Oratrice.
But didn't I make myself clear at the time?
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice, you will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice. Instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of
the real Hydro Archon. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that you can't argue that just because
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses.
my power as an Archon.
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive. Thus did I give up.
Isn't that?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be.
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please, I'm still the same, please.
If what the prosecutor said is—
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents?
Enough! That's enough. Tell me then, if you have no evidence of
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. That doesn't sound... It has been established that all Fontanians can dissolve in water.
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicions of you being—
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a...
super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood, including those of some of my closest friends. So, Miss Farina, would you dare to touch some of this seawater? If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, but if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting—
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontanian like all the rest.
Lady Farina, this test has been
Well, of course he had to tell her that.
She's just staring at the water with her—
What's going on?
due to the inherent risk of...
Hey!
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! Will you believe me now? I really am—
Miss Siegewien? If you're present, Miss Siegewien, please come...
Siegewien? Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss Siegewien.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater.
Thank you, Miss Siegewien. Lady...
Oh, wait. What did she just say?
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems... However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not We don't want anyone else.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, it's a great thing that the
I can't believe... everyone! Think about it! Also... Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me! I swear, I really am your Archon.
I don't think anything she's...
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't...
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway her. She's too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Furina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Furina is... guilty. We shall now turn to the Oratrice mechanism. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale.
Well, what's wrong? What?
No, the Oratrice...
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty, to be punished via the...
That's actually one of the available
The one and only time the death sentence has been...
Furina's been sentenced to death by the
This outcome is indeed quite... Is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been...
Yeah! Even Vache wasn't sentenced to...
Indeed. Not only is Furina's sentence overly excessive, but now, the Oratrice seems...
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial
Fremine! Oh, you finally made it!
Mm-hmm. And...
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the name...
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the... But has the trial already concluded?
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me... Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates, and would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
Huh? So what do you see? What...
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro... so when you say Hydro Archon...
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point... However, I'm uncertain as to how much...
Okay, let's try to recall the contents... The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems, does that mean that Fontanians are transformed Oceanids? The second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky. This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded... That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch... Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy of the Font... We didn't believe that's such a crazy disaster...
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontanians can be dissolved in primordial seawater. And this might be the reason that Fontanians can dissolve. not as simple as falling into the sea. The stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Ark. Prophecy from the stone slates found the fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded. If we hadn't dealt with it in time... Perhaps what is about to take place, the true sin of the Hydra and the original sin cast...
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea, but won't cease to exist. Their essence... The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly does... The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress... The stone slate's contents can all be...
Let's hear them.
Incredible.
We're not real humans.
All Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in primordial... Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate. That could also explain why the Oratries judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's too...
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to...
Yeah! Isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon in the end? The people will all... Did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. However, while you were able to decode all the information when we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded. Now that the slate collection is complete, I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontanians, and in the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the seven, did not possess the authority to create a new form of... Not one to give in. She eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by she poured primordial seawater into the Oceanid's blood vessels. But if Fontanians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
So
That's way too much information for me. Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death.
This really might be too much information for your regular...
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water they have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into this, therefore, the meaning of the third slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So, in truth, everything we've done has...
What should we do?
Huh. No matter what.
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also...
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fact about the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Mer... However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that as for the root cause of the catastrophe... This eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause of the disaster.
It was both dream.
If we're talking about a true cult...
The truth, the original sin.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the Opera House? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontainians out of Oceanids...
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontainians nigh Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to
We just barely managed to push it back, right?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank from the way he looked. He must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but Anyway, now that we know that this whale is...
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. Even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed.
That's not something I will accept. We've already done everything we can. We've come so far.
Indeed. That's not how a
I'll fight it to the end. No matter what.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy, yes. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen, ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter.
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor.
Focalor? Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too. The heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least. I'm a genius, I know. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand?
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do. Even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon, alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actress, to play under the curse I placed on her. So long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Farina is only human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, it's been 500 years. And all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
Oh? Who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my— All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be— Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontanians are upon me. I must, at all times, display the utmost elegance and— Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough. Strike a pose! Let my name echo in song!
Settle down!
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards! Here, please!
One with nature, as one with wind and cloud.
Bow your head.
Farina. Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you.
Wait a moment. You're... Mirror me? How...
Mirror you, huh? You know what?
Mirror me. What do you wish to say?
The prophecy. Have you heard of it?
What prophecy? The people will all be dissolved.
Oh, very good.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember.
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die?
Oh, I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat.
Oh, so as for the suffering, but if the prophecy will come true, if there were scales, with all the people...
You truly are the perfect human, my ideal. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role, that of the new Archon.
Play as... a god?
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed, then all hope will be lost.
But how will I do this?
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. Being a human yourself, I'm sure... Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing...
I'm still not sure I understand. So, how long am I going to have to play this role?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. But I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
A trial, huh? The Maison Cardinalise had... What should I say to most of... Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken... In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god. But as the god Focalor, the god of justice, once again, thank you all for coming. This... I thought I might stammer.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might...
Wait, what's going on? Right. Mirmi said that I just need to calm down, Farina. Assertive, with a strong... Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house. Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Her personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us. There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. So long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the Opera Epiclese.
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House in Besides, none of these
If I may...
A magnificent...
That's true, I fear...
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, to your...
Lady Farina, I don't know what to...
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of perseverance. All right, Deoteria.
He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an...
Oh, good.
You're such a gentle...
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the
I see. It's as I thought, then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow you to analyze it. All manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass.
Well...
Really? Have they found anything?
I'm...
Oh, is that so? Oh. The day is finally over, but it's good to see that everything's getting on track. Maybe this is fine.
Lady Farina, here are the new
There'll be no...
Lady Farina.
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed should anything come up at the Institute. I don't think I let anything slip today. I just don't know when these days will end. I feel utterly exhausted.
Lady Farina, I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience.
And what a fine family. What is it? Good.
Are you crying?
Uh-huh. This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god.
No wonder. No wonder. A man of...
So interminable. Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps I never imagined that it would hurt so much. Have I want to tell someone. Anyone I've conducted. All I can do is keep heart.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone, although I don't know what you might be...
Share. That's impossible.
It was... But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can just share it with me. I'm what you'd call a witness.
A witness? And if to that is... She's right. I could confide in her, couldn't but if things don't play out as expected... No, Farina. You shouldn't be selfish. But what if it's real, Farina? Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? If you let this opportunity think about it long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. I am Farina, the Archon of Fontaine. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the curtains fall.
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, it seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works. How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine?
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along.
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient depth. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
I beg...
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed. I mean, did you think I would be the My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the Oratrice. But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide power to Fontaine. The vast majority had to be, accumulated.
It was all a part of your plan, then? But
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the Oratrice. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro...
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor. The destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent...
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
But...
Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more.
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked. Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possessed. I, for my part, am the god of justice. Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, in other words, existence was Egeria's justice, defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the burden of this sin for far too long. Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign.
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, at last, I now understand the true purpose behind this position. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually... You are a devious one, Focalor. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Neuvillette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
I, Iudex Nuvelet, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
What just happened? Has the death sentence been carried out?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection?
But since we're all still alive and haven't...
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
But... didn't you say just a moment ago?
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability... We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out the root of the calamities befalling Fontaine. Come with me, Traveler. The hour of execution has come. Done my best to separate the power of my orders from the way. Considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together. Cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Present itself. The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
What is the situation?
I've already done my best to separate the power from the whale. Considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together. I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility. Let the mighty be humble! Settle down! The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. A chance will present itself. My part. I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Shine down!
Settle down! Be sanctified.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but it was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point.
That power. Who are you exactly?
Paimon has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. It's just that he gave us the impression that she was the less talkative person.
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, so you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devouring narwhal. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative, it eats too much, and I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk?
The point being...
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an entire nation. So what sort of person is your master? Well, Child's master's...
Oh, right.
So you don't know him. So his name is Sir Taloji.
Huh?
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous. How should I describe...
The Foul?
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary? Vetterfalnir, then? Or Gold Rhindaughter?
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rhindaughter's part of the Hexen Circle. She's...
Oh, so you do know that name. But I suppose you understand now, yes?
Wait! Didn't you also mention a vision?
Actually, never mind that. I bet that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the Fontaine back on the surface has most in other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has already managed to deceive the heaven.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Hey! Help! Over here!
All hands, initiate emergency rescue! Hurry! Hey, lend a hand! Look! The water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Are you alright?
We're saved.
The prophecy was wrong.
The soil renewed. The Sweena Divasula tax post-old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Skyship Winglet, Booner librarian of the Fontaine Research Institute. The various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly become a shield over the end. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Jurier and Navia?
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. The value for these big scoops lies in Edwin's assistant, Jurier created a true flying ship. Well, not
Paimon's curious too!
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're the best.
Are you sure?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on! Let's head to Poisson first, and then make a trip to the fortress.
Oh, it's you.
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snezhevich. Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, we're—
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report?
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible.
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials.
Huh? You're here too?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So
there's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions?
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme than that, Miss
I see you're the same as always.
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take—
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let her off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up. And...
How did it go? Was it a good shot?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections.
Wow, you really do have that never say die spirit.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Meripede.
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make—
That's a very complete information chain.
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked, I told him that it was best not to speak too soon.
You're right. I've got to treasure every
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything interesting.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feeling.
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you come all the way to the entrance to greet us?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte, whom our good head nurse recommended to me.
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview.
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Hey, Miss...
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that of Mr. Jurier, hmm?
Sir, please don't say that.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it.
No, I just...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually... The boat that brought about a miracle. Still, if I might ask, where...
Looks like Charlotte...
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid it won't be easy.
Really? Well, then in that case, could...
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this couple of researchers?
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this new drink I came up with?
Ah, Siegeween.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Sure. Come on, Miss Sue.
Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the fortress?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still more or less the same.
Other than that flying ship, it got a tad too much attention, I think.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinion.
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun. Not that you would want that.
I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh?
He sure did win them over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
Oh, actually,
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duties. As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey, everyone. The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory. All right. Last stop, the docks.
Let the mighty be humbled!
I see the value in my own work, but I also see the meaning in all the endeavors of the people of Fontaine. I believe I will continue to take pride in fulfilling my duties. Melusines are beautiful creatures. They are the pride of Fontaine. Be sure to befriend them and cause them no harm.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks distributing these strange pockets the whole time since.
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal.
Trick a friend. I wonder...
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact?
Lynette sure is working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step.
Lynette, could you come over?
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she Father says that you did a great deal during the latest event.
That's all right. We were more than happy to...
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. After Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Nervillet opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a diplomatic gift.
A diplomatic gift?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. It could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring narwhal down. Furthermore, Father did
that's true.
I would agree, but I've also...
So there's some reason...
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself.
Isn't he real busy and stuff? But back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the knave, right?
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the Traveler by chance.
Are you going to take the gnosis back to...
That is our duty as harbingers. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. Switching my masks is something I've always done. Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever? As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision? All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it safe for him this entire time.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh?
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about it.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk while the weather remains so agreeable.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon, you take one too.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I guess this must be life. All right then. We'll be handing out pockets in some other districts later, so...
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see see that he doesn't have time to chat anyway. The entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there! So, you really are here, Neuvillette! Paimon didn't think you were going to have free time this hour of the day.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching...
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Alright, let's have it then. How was fun
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth when it
So that's what happened? Focalor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged elemental dragon sovereign. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontanians from dissolving.
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element. Fontanians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontanians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved by water from the primordial sea.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true. What? Yeah! And in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro Archon's wish to turn Oceanids into real people too!
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of... As for the judgment passed by the Oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association, or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be...
Guess Focalor had Fontanians in mind the whole time. And, hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another question. Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were...
Life has always flowed like water. Do you...
Yeah! Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine converge.
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom. But instead, those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets it.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, about that. Risley said...
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon. I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she simply said that she was tired and needed to rest. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the opera house.
But she's the...
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or travel. In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, take time to heal. But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalor the Hydro Archon...
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full powers as the Hydro Dragon?
After Focalor passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts. From now on...
Looks like you're still considering...
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities. Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem.
the people's faith in the Hydro Archon, wasn't it? Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay?
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute.
Wow. This ancient
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right!
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us during this. Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis. The Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro as such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now.
What complicated considerations?
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so as far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
A nation of dragons?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, Natlan is also the nation of war. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the Knave that I believe the Harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer. Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a Fatui Harbinger doing their thing.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still got a question about Gnosis. When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude toward... We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you were aware of.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something with you.
What is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to...
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here. I can finally catch the scent of your power. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before.
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing. Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her Gnosis to me. But I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So it is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to... Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all...
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my... personal thoughts.
This third descender you refer to, who...
Master never mentioned them to me. If you're interested, though, I could ask him.
Next time. You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger, then.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the Gnosis actually are.
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui!
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk by keeping it. I guess that you might already be familiar with this concept. That means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities. I wonder.
No, let's not think about this stuff right now. Comparing the Traveler to the dead, that's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when in—
Alright, whatever.
Yes. All of Focalor's efforts were for this moment as well.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human.
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will. I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the life flows like water, and what ultimately is the—
Perfect.
The only ones for the job? If our help is really that important, it's
The Adventurers Guild, all it asks us to do is to find a missing person.
Huh? Then why did you say we—
I came across this commission while reviewing. It seems simple, but our records indicate that over a dozen successive efforts to complete it, with the reputation of the Adventurers Guild and the performance—
Well, that's us for sure!
If it proves to be beyond your capabilities as well, I'll talk to—
Okay, so who are we looking for?
This commission was jointly issued by the residents of Vimara Village, but the problem is, they don't know the missing person's name.
They're all from the same village, but they don't even know his name? If so many adventurers—
Unlikely. Several villagers came by to— Besides, putting up a commission requires a— In any case, it would probably be best to go to Vimara—
Alright then, let's go! Paimon's starting to get really curious about this.
Water comes in many flavors. To the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from Liyue has an enduring aftertaste. In Inazuma, the water possesses a depth of flavor unlike any other. Sumeru's water, meanwhile, has a rich and complex flavor profile, but it must be savored patiently to fully appreciate it.